Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to everyone. I'm Faisal from 6AS4. We'll be talking about the causes and the effects of mental health issues. Before we start, let me tell a thing or two about mental health. Emotional, psychological, and social well being all fall under the category of mental health. It influences our thoughts, feelings, and actions. It also influences how we interact with people, manage stress, and make good decisions. From childhood and youth through maturity, mental health is crucial at every stage of life. Causes of mental health issues or mental illness. Most mental illnesses don't have a single cause. Instead, they have a variety of causes called risk factors. The more risk factors you have, the more likely you are to develop mental illness. Sometimes the mental illness develops gradually. Other times it doesn't appear until a stressful time or event triggers it. First of all, it's genetics. Mental illness often runs in the family. Second of all, is environment. Living in a stressful environment can make you more likely to develop mental illness. Things like living in poverty or having an abusive family puts a lot of stress on your brain and often triggers mental illness. Third of all is trauma or childhood trauma. Even if you're no longer in a stressful environment, things can happen to you as a child can have an impact later in life. Stressful event like losing a loved one or being in a car accident. Negative thoughts, constantly putting yourself down or expecting the worst can get you stuck in a cycle of depression or anxiety. Unhealthy habits like not getting enough sleep or not eating. Drugs and drugs and alcohol. Abusing drugs and alcohol can trigger a mental illness. It can also make it harder to recover from mental illness. Brain chemistry. Mental illness involves an imbalance of natural chemicals in your brain and your body. These risk factors don't just affect who will develop a mental illness in the first place, they also affect how severe their symptoms will be and when they will experience those symptoms. Effects on mental health issues or mental illness. Effects on the mind. Clinical depression, or known as severe depression, is classified as a mental illness, but it also affects your mental health, physical health, mood, thoughts, and well being. Not treating your depression can cause symptoms to worsen and lengthen depressive episodes. The feelings of sadness and hopelessness can grow to a point where you can't even explain it. You may lose sleep, which starts a domino effect for chronic fatigue, irritability, decreased libido, and more. Those with untreated depression are also at higher risk of drug and alcohol abuse and reckless or abusive behavior. Untreated depression can also increase the chance of suicide. Effects on the body. Untreated depression causes many sufferers to overreact or binge, which increases your risk of obesity and obesity related diseases. You may even have no appetite at all or fail to eat enough nutritious food. This can lead to issues like cramps, malnutrition, stomachs, and constipation. Heart and immune system are affected as well from the stress responses being closely related to depression. The stress responses causes the heart to beat faster and blood vessels to tighten. The stress responses was designed to have our body think and act quickly in emergent or dangerous situation. However, with depression, the body remains in this heightened state, leading to heart disease. Your, your immune system becomes more vulnerable to infection, making it harder for your body to prevent infection and recover from them. In conclusion, everyone suffers from mental illness, so we should find a way to curb it and be a better person free of mental illness. Just have a good life and be yourself. Before I end my speech, let me give you a quote about mental illness. You are not your illness, you have an individual story to tell. You have a name, a history, a personality. Staying yourself is part of the battle. Julian Sifter. That's all for me. Thank you very much.